This is 1 year anniversary. I was looking up what each year meant. And so we had 1 year as paper, and then you got later on as China and gold.
Yeah, gold.
Yeah, gold is the 50. It went all the way up to 70. I don't know what that one was. Maybe my fiber, maybe. I don't know. That's a long time. It's a long time to be married. And Disneyland's coming back. That's good news for Southern California. Patty is definitely all on board for that. They said, though, that the rules, not just the capacity, part of the policy is that you're not allowed to scream on the roller coasters.
Nice try.
Wasn't it fun?
Yeah, not sure how they're going to enforce that. Come on, Minnie. You're also not allowed to scream when they find out how much they're going to charge. No.
Yeah.
Oh man. So good. Hey, this was in the news. I always want to bring you guys like news stories to keep it all topical, but this is true. There was a guy who tried to sue Hawaiian Bread because their rolls weren't made in Hawaii. Yeah, some of these people that we drag along in society, man. He's like, are you telling me that Dr. Pepper isn't a real doctor? Taking that for my diabetes. Another story. I was just reading the headlines for you guys. This guy, he got busted. He was convicted because he placed himself at the scene of the crime with his Instagram photo. Like behind him was a license plate. Yeah. George Orwell said there'd be a future where there's a camera on everybody. He just didn't know we'd be carrying it around in our pockets. So one of the things that I enjoy about this show, aside from bringing my favorite comics and connecting with you all, is it forces me to come up with 15 new minutes every single week. And then I get to use, 2.5 of those minutes will survive the clubs and all of the, trial and error. But one of my family members asked me to revisit a bit. So indulge me. I'm going to kind of, say, okay, thank you. So I'll go back to the beginning. Like in our relationship with my wife, and for the new people, married to a woman.
That never gets old.
That never gets old. I know. I gotta, the new people, I know it's a shock, so I have to give them a second. So, but in our relationship, I'm the one that's, I'll come home from the road and then I miss her a lot. And so I want to go on a picnic and I'll write her little love notes. I try to keep it romantic. And Patty, my wife, she is more businesslike and, she's like more of the dude. The universe is trying to balance itself out. Sometimes I'll say something too sweet and she'll be like, psh, give me a break. Shames me. There was a night I put together a bath. I had candles, essential oils, whole 9 yards. Yeah, Patty was out of town, so. Little me time, little spa day. No shame, folks. No shame. So during COVID, it's been harder to get out. There's nothing we were able to do. So we went wine tasting. And I didn't mind the wine drinking, but the leader, the sommelier, he was trying to impress us with all the poetic faces. And he's going, oh, well, yes, this tastes like smoky herbal dusk. It tastes like a time of day. That's how sophisticated his palate is. I'm on my third glass going, mine tastes like purple. Purple Sauvignon. And then for that wine tasting in Temecula, they try to get you to pair it with, wait for it, hot air ballooning. Yeah. Now that you got a buzz, why don't you go risk your life with us? We'll make a weekend of it. Patty's into it. She wants to go hot air ballooning. I can't, man. I've seen it from the ground, and it doesn't look good when they're doing it right. It's a giant balloon with fire, open flame, Bunsen burner, and a wicker basket full of people. What could go wrong, right?
Yeah, really.
I don't know, honey. A breeze, a 12-year-old with a drone. Do the math. Come on, honey. So we're getting to know each other a lot more. I mean, we've always been close, and I tell you guys every week how lucky I am. And but our temperatures we run at very different temperatures, and that's something that I'm finding out. Yeah. So, like, the thermostat is a real issue in our house. You know, that's like we've kind of given up. We're not trying to find a happy zone anymore. It's just become a timeshare. You know, I get it from 3 to 4, and she gets it from 4 to 5. And Alexa's like caught in the middle of it. I'm like, Alexa, turn the temperature to 72. And Patty's like, don't you do that, Alexa. Eventually, Alexa's like, finding marriage counselors in your area. Yeah, and then when we go in the car, we each have our own temperature control. Like, I can control my side and she can control hers, and mine's way too hot for hers and hers is way too cold for me. So there's like a weather front developing between us. We've lost communication, sir. And then at night, she can't fall asleep without the fan all night. I mean, every night. Yeah. And I can't fall asleep with something going. So I got to take those little sham pillows and build a wall between us. So, yeah, it's very romantic, let me tell you. The time it's over, I'm like texting her. So what are you wearing? And then she's got the Fitbit. She wears that so she gets credit for all the walking she does. Yeah. The Fitbit's cool. And it tells her all these little like motivation messages. It'll be like, you go get them and 10,000 steps.
Yeah.
We're going to, yeah, right? Yeah. We're going to bed one night and it just says randomly, I like you. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, what kind of creepy Stephen King book am I in here? I mean, right? How long is it before it's going to be like, you don't need him? It's just you and me now. Use the pillows. Oh, man. So, yeah, we're cutting some costs around the house. We got rid of SiriusXM and the paid version of Pandora. Little money leaks, you know, it doesn't hurt. It's weird, though, when you listen. I went from Pandora to listening to the radio, and it's a weird shift that you got to make because you lose all your power.
Yeah.
Right? Like when you listen to Pandora, you're like Julius Caesar. Thumbs up, let it live. Thumbs down, no. On the radio, it just all comes at you all higgledy-piggledy, you know? They even rub it in. They're like, Jack FM, playing what we want. It's like that arrogant guy who orders for you. She'll have the Bon Jovi. Trust me. Well, I was at Trader Joe's today because look at me. Yeah, seriously, the employees ask me where stuff is. And I know when it comes in and when it's fresh. The problem with TJ's, that's what the locals like us call it, TJ's, is that they have all these things that only they carry. You're addicted. They hook you. And so you got to keep coming back. That's what all those free samples are about. They're like, what you want? What you want? We got mac and cheese with pepperoni. Yeah, this one's free. All right. I have a thing on the guitar, but you know what? I'm going to save that for next time because you know what? It's a minute. It's a minute long. Yeah. I'm like groping for you to ask me to do it. No, I'm not. I've been playing with a lot of different ideas, and so this is what I've been kind of toying with. Why is it that we keep passing the nursery rhymes down to our kids? I mean, how much time do we get between Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star and Pocket Full of Posies? You know, like posies were the flowers that they would put in the pockets of dead people. I know. What are we doing? They all went after the farmer's wife who cut off their tails with a carving knife. Have you ever seen such a sight in your life as 3 blind mice? What? Songs, they're not even from this country. London Bridge is falling down, falling down, falling down. And the kids are like, what happened? Where's London? Is everyone okay? In all of our stories, someone's either getting eaten by a wolf or baked in an oven. The kids are finally like, just sing me to sleep already. All right. When the bough breaks, the cradle will fall, and down will come baby, cradle and all. They're like, why? Was it in London? What? And then they just lie in bed, like remembering the simpler times. Wheels on the bus go round and round, round and round, round and round. And that's because the bus is upside down. All right. We'll work it out. Maybe that'll be the 2.5 minutes that survives. Okay, you guys are fantastic. I brag on you to the comics, and it's one of the reasons that we're able to get such great comedians. And we have a special 1-year anniversary lineup. Very proud of this collection of comics. Your first comedian here, in no particular order, a solid headliner. I worked with him originally in Seattle. He was filming a special at the Comedy Underground, and I was just doing a spot that night. Oh. He's a real good dude on top of being a super funny comic. Put your hands together for my friend, Nick Cobb.
Yeah. Wow, Jason, I had no memory of that. I don't have any memory of anything before the past year. And when you threw out higgledy-piggledy a couple minutes ago, I haven't heard that in 35 years. Congratulations on shoehorning in a phrase that my great-grandmother would only use. And it worked. It's good to do a show. As much as I miss live shows, I do like doing shows where I'm actually also putting my kids to bed right now. I'm putting them to bed in the bath 4 feet away. I would to you, but it'd be weird. But it's quite a convenience. A lot of multitasking, doing comedy and bathing my kids. It's working out. Guys, I got something embarrassing. I'm just going to start the show with. I went to my first session today to get my lower back tattoo removed. That's right. Yep. Some people called it a tramp stamp. I called it a jersey plate. Get my jersey plate removed. That. It was good for a while. I mean, it's tramp stamp. That it's a great icebreaker at the YMCA. That's what that is. I also went to go get a dresser. Can someone tell me, is it possible for a furniture store to be open and not be going out of business? Is that possible? No, I don't think it is. I went to a place, it's been there 8 years. It's been liquidating for 8 years. As soon as it opened, it started going out of business.
Still going.
It's like just two sides of a banner. In fact, they should just put it on one side of the banner, opening, but we're going to be closing in a week. I don't understand. And they always have stock. There's only two types of people in a furniture store anyway. It's either people who are very optimistic about their future or people who are very pessimistic about their future. It's either couples that are like, we want an entire bedroom suite, or one depressed guy that's like, I'll just take a lamp and a pillow. That's all I my dad just turned, what did he turn, 73? Any of you guys ever been in a position you couldn't afford a present for your own dad and you're over like 42 and you're contemplating making him a present? Your handprints on a sheet of paper, you know, Cheerio necklace. After a while, I'm like, forget that. He's not going to think that's cute anymore. I'm just going to nip this in the bud. So I called my dad. I was like, Dad, I'm going to level with you. I don't know what you want for your birthday this year. How about you just take $60 out of what you normally give me every month? Take mom to laser tag. This pandemic's killing me, man. Anyone here ever watched Pawn Stars for 9 straight hours and you just look forward to everyone being disappointed at how quickly they settle? A guy will be like, I've got an original copy of the Gettysburg Address. I'm going to come out of here with 10 grand. And they're like, 10 seconds later, it's like, yeah, I got $30. All right. I barely even, Jason was talking about the show we did in Seattle. I barely remember a show that I did a year ago. This kid came up to me after the show. Was in San Diego. This kid came up. He's he's like 20, 22. He's a hipster. He's wearing like a kite, you know. And he comes up to me and he's like, hey man, if stand-up doesn't work out for you, are you going to go into acting? And I'm like, I don't think that's how backup plans work. Your plan B isn't typically more difficult to accomplish than your dreams. There's nobody out there right now like, man, if I can't get this dog walking thing off the ground, I guess I'll just have to go back and be an astronaut again. Like, hey, I heard you're gonna play for the Lakers this year. It's like, yeah, I may have to if Panda Express doesn't call me back. Oh, here's something else I can piggyback off of Jason. He's talking about Trader Joe's. That same show I showed up. This is absolutely true. I showed up to that show. There's nobody really there, and the owner is like, "Yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be pretty light tonight. Not many people come in here. You know, there's a Trader Joe's that just opened up down the street." Are you blaming this on produce? Is that what or is this your like cunning little way of telling me my name doesn't sell tickets? Is that what that is? Like, well, we had 150 reservations, but they all said they'd prefer going strawberry picking. So anybody else here need therapy? You just can't afford it at all? Like $8 an hour? I've found a way to get it for free. That's one good thing about the pandemic. Free therapy. I figured it out. Works like gangbusters. Won't cost you $1. Here it is. Start setting up job interviews. Like every couple weeks, because they ask about you. You won't get the job, but you will get that stuff off your chest. Gave my resume, like, so Nick, tell me about yourself. I'm like, oh, I'm so messed up, man. Thanks for asking. Like, well, what are you going to bring to our team? I'm like, certainly not confidence. I've got 2 kids. I've got a 5-year-old girl, and this is absolutely true. A week before she was born, we lost our insurance. We lost SAG insurance a week before she was born. So it was really expensive, but I guess it's worth it, I guess. So now my wife and I still don't have insurance, but our daughter, she's insured just by California, the state of California. It's the only one the whole family has insurance, 5-year-old girl. So what we've been doing is we've been taking her to the pediatrician, but then trying to double dip and weave some questions in about ourselves. Kind of works. They'll be like, oh, she grew 3 inches. She looks pretty healthy. I'm like, she gets acid reflux after like 4 beers. So could you please give her the Percocet? She has some nagging lower back pain. My wife jumps in like, how could she lose like 6 pounds by Saturday? They're like, she's only 40 pounds. Yeah, with a wedding to go to this weekend. This is totally true. A couple weeks before COVID, like before everything shut down, I took my 2-year-old son to go pick up my 5-year-old daughter from her daycare, or 4-year-old at the time, right? My 2-year-old son, like, did you ever watch Game of Thrones? He looks like a miniature version of Joffrey. Like, people don't like him. People just look at him like, oh, he's kind of a dick. You know, people just don't like him. You know, and he's a sweetheart, but he's huge. Like, he's officially, the doctor has said his height is off the charts. Like, he's like King Kong amongst 2-year-olds. That's what he's like. And he's ripped, he's jacked, he's got abs. Like, he's ridiculous. Actually, this is also true. My neighbor called the police on my 2-year-old, and I'm not kidding, which is ridiculous, but at the same time useful, because now they think the cops can come for them. Like, they believe the Easter Bunny's coming tonight, but they also believe if he breaks in, he'll be arrested. So I took my 2-year-old to go pick up my 4-year-old at the time, and what do? They see each other and immediately start wrestling because they're 2 and 4. They're wrestling. And the teacher pulls me aside and she's like, could you have them like elbow bump next time? And I'm like, lady, last night I saw her piss on his head. I'm pretty sure he has whatever she has. You know, I don't miss daycare at all. I mean, I don't, my son was in daycare. I don't understand how you can get that sick that fast. Like, you drop off your kid at 9 a.m. and they're fine. 2 hours later, you get a call like, your kid has syphilis. I don't know how this happened. We don't sleep at all. Still not. We still don't sleep because somebody gave us a video baby monitor when my first kid was born. And if you're not a parent. Like, it's a camera that you clip onto the side of a crib or a bed. You can watch from the other room and see if they're sleeping okay. And that sounds great. My daughter just stares straight into the camera. 3 to 5 hour stretches every night, like she's a demon seed from Paranormal Activity and Insidious. And it's just black, white with red eyes. Camera. It's 2 a.m. Like, my wife's like, hey, check and see if she's okay. And I look over and she's just staring straight through my just breathing like, because then we're no longer stressed out that she's not going to sleep. We were scared like she's going to eat us both. But forget that. So we switched up. We put the camera on us and we gave her the monitor. But I think I got 1 minute left. I'll tell you that, guys, this is nuts. It's totally true. My daughter started telling me to shut up. She started telling me to shut up. And we don't say shut up. I don't even know where she heard shut up, but she started just telling me shut up. And then someone told her my full name. She's never even known my name. So now every time we go out, she's just like, shut up, Nick Cobb. Around, shut up, Nick Cobb. And then my wife, my very well-meaning feminist wife, taught her my body, my choice. But my 4-year-old at the time, my body, my choice. And she doesn't understand that. I mean, it's a good phrase. She doesn't, but it's not good when you're stuck in a dressing room in Marshall's. And she's like, my body, my choice, Nick Cobb. Have to leave it there. You guys have been so nice. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Oh, man.
So much.
So funny, Nick. So funny.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, it's always a bummer when I gotta light you. And by the way, you got a lot of great comments, like 3 different people. Delilah, Amanda, Bunny Miller said you're hilarious. Rachel Polson said you're awesome and genuine. Yeah, and Nick is the kind of genuine where, you know, some people might choose a virtual background, but no, Nick will show you the dirty laundry behind him in the basket. No problem. He just bears his soul to us. That's what we love about Nick.
Thanks, guys. Thank you, Jason.
He made it.
Yeah, I actually do have to go and put my kids down. I really do.
All right, man. Thanks for joining us.
Like who I'm talking to. Bye-bye, everybody. Thanks so much.
Bye, Nick.
Bye-bye.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to keep this one-year extravaganza, probably not pronounced that way. Moving along to our next comedian, who originally hails from Canada. Super funny guy. I didn't discover him until he was on America's Got Talent, and I was really pulling for him. He's like a comedian's comedian. He's been on The Tonight Show, Just for Laughs. Put your hands together for John Wing.
Very exciting. Thank you so much. Welcome to Indiana Jones and the Temple of Zoom. I'm John. I'll be your comedian. And you're probably wondering how old I am. And I'll tell you, I'm old. You don't look old because it's very blurry with this camera. I want you to know that I don't dye my hair. I bleach my face. And I was recently vaccinated, and it brought back such wonderful memories because that's how old I am. I was vaccinated before. My parents vaccinated me. They did it without a thought. My mother would bring me in. How many does he need today? 8. Well, this is going to be fun. No, I got it. Oh, let's go. Stick him. Stick him again. Stop crying, you little wuss. Do the one in the butt, the polio one. I've been threatening you. I have a vivid memory of being 6 years old, being examined by a pediatrician in his office for an hour. For the entire hour, he smoked. That's how old I am. Doctors could smoke in their offices while examining children. When he was done, he said, "You seem pretty healthy, kid. Little touch of asthma, you'll probably go out of that." You know, I remember every one of the nursery rhymes that Jason did. But the one I always loved the best was the equality one. How did it go? Rub-a-dub-dub, 3 men and 3 women. In the club, and they all get paid. My personal favorite. Here's how old I am. I've reached a new stage of life. There are 5 or 6 basic stages of life. There's baby fat. That's the first stage. Then there's childhood, the second stage. And then around 18, 19, there's a relatively long stage that I like to call looks good naked. So there's looks good naked, and then after a while, say 20, 25 years, maybe 40, 45, there's looks okay naked. I've recently passed into the doesn't look good naked stage. She's okay because the final stage is the ground is calling. But, I'm getting to an age where I walk around with my fly open a lot now. I'm going to pee again in 10 minutes. I'm just saving time. I've got arthritis in my hands. I can't be zipping up and down all day. It hurts my hand. I remember in college, I could drink a gallon of beer at midnight, go to bed, sleep for 12 hours, get up and pee for an hour and 45 minutes straight. Now, 2 sips of water after 8 o'clock, I'm up 5 times in the night. I don't know what happened to me. You change your perspective at a certain age. Like nowadays, if I'm walking in my house and I drop something, before I bend my knees to pick it up, I have to think first, do I really need my phone? Perhaps I could pay the neighbor kid to come over and pick it up. When I shave now, I include my ears. That's a new thing. Another thing I've noticed, I understand things now that I never understood before. Like many years ago, I got drunk and I was in a bar and I was talking to a drunken airline pilot, which I don't recommend because they tell you things. And what he told me was, we were discussing flying airplanes and I said, I don't mind being on a plane. It's just takeoff is fine. Landing, I find a little frightening. And he said, you know what landing is? Landing is a controlled crash. That didn't help me. But I never really understood the concept of a controlled crash until the other day. I was having a bath and I stood up to soap myself up. And when I sat down again to rinse myself off, for the first time in my life, I understood the meaning of controlled crash. But that was a long time ago. I grew up with 13 channels on the TV. 9 of them were CBS. I grew up with my one TV in the house. Who remembers one TV in the house? Parents called it the idiot box. Now we have the idiot phone. But idiot is a long word, so we just call it the iPhone. One of the nice things about the pandemic is that I've become really good friends with my IT guy. I've started phoning my IT guy pretty regularly. Like the other night, my wife said no to me. So I phoned my IT guy. And I said, my wife said no to me. And he said, have you tried turning her off and then turning her back on again? I said, do you know how difficult it is to turn her back on after I've turned her off? I've been a comedian for 41 years. I'm 61 years old. Oh, I'm reading at a 65-year-old level. I wanted to get that in. 61, but still reading well above my grade. Because I went to school, when I went to school, they taught English as a first language, and it was difficult, and you had to know it. Grammar, sentence structure, subject, predicate, object, etc., etc. And the teachers didn't care about my self-esteem. They would say to me, what are you, stupid, John? Is that it? Did everyone hear the stupid thing John just said? You know, you're probably the stupidest kid in this class. How'd you like an all-expense-paid trip back to 4th grade, mister? Remember her? Always trying to catch me not paying attention, single me out, embarrass me in front of the class. She just point at you. John, use the word assiduous in a sentence. The teacher asked John to use the word assiduous in a sentence. Yes, I do know the way to the principal's office. I am also a parent of two children, two children in their 20s. I think I had children because I was afraid that I would get to my 50s and there would be no one to judge me. You know, I still remember the night my first child was born. My daughter, incredible moment. She was born. I held her in my arms. And in the moment of holding your child and meeting her for the first time, your ambitions for this child know no bounds. I was talking to the midwife. Huh? Look at this miracle that I made. She'll go to Harvard Medical School. She'll discover a cure for something and win the Nobel Prize. Yes, you are. You are a Nobel Prize winner. And then as she grew, I began to dial those ambitions back incrementally. Well, you know, Cal State has a fine school system. Get her into a state university or a community college. She could learn a trade of some kind. DeVry, perhaps. Let's not rule out DeVry. And finally, you're just, you know, maybe she'll graduate high school and not be a stripper. I'd be happy with that. I'm married now. We're in our 32nd year, which is a long time to be married. We have conversations now that you can only have when you're married a long time. Like, we have conversations about why we never broke up. I thought you were going to leave me that one time. And I said, I was. The damn car wouldn't start. I was leaving. The battery went dead the night I was going to go. But, you know, we have a shorthand now. Like, she'll come into the room in the morning. She'll come into the bedroom. I always get up after her. And my wife doesn't go to bed without a plan for tomorrow. And she's so good about making plans that she will occasionally go to bed with two plans, one for her and one for me. Nothing I like better at age 61 than waking up to a series of written assignments, which I will be judged at day's end. But we recently got a new neighbor. Bob just moved in about 8 months ago, next door. Nice man, ex-cop, not married. And I'm the only person he knows in the neighborhood because we've been taking our garbage out one night. And Bob is a gun enthusiast. And he had me over recently to see his gun collection, and it was exciting.
On his closing bit, too. No.
And he said,
Oh, John, you just came back, man. You're buffering.
And, oh, you got to see my new Glock. Showing me. You want to hold my Glock? Oh, I did. All right. Well, it was fun. Thanks for having me.
All right.
Right, John.
You got through the technical part, man. Yeah, it's so funny because for those of you who've been here from the beginning, when we first started this show, it was a train wreck. I didn't know what I was doing, and the comics were getting used to it, and every single set was cutting out and buffering and noises. So we've really come a long way.
I'm glad I was able to bring you back to that nostalgic time.
But it reminds me, because John, I was the one that told him to put those headphones in that muted his computer. So see, John, all that learning I've done, paying off. I know, got all the answers, man, all the answers. Yeah, Stefan in the chat, he nailed it before we even figured it out. He told us to take out the earplugs. By the way, John, my mom loved you. She said you're very funny. I could hear my sister laughing, so even though she didn't, so I know she loved you. And David Lee says he also shaves his ear, so you have
Wow, thanks.
You have a support group forming. All right, man. I appreciate you doing it. Very funny. You got great chat comments. You should check them out. Okay. Next. Yes, that's John Wing, everybody. John Wing.
Woohoo!
Okay. Your next comedian, he's a legend in the Bay Area. He's originally from Hawaii. He won the Great American Comedy Festival, which we all wish that we could do. Put your hands together for Kermet Apio.
Hi, everybody. I am in the Seattle chapter of the Jason Love Comedy Club, just oddly located in my bedroom. I am very excited to be here on the big 1-year anniversary show. Thanks for having me, Jason. And I am really glad to be here because I had a weird day today. I was on the phone for an hour trying to tell John I'm not his IT guy. And I said, hey, if you want to talk about your wife, just set up some job interviews. I am excited to be here, and it's amazing that you think about a 1-year anniversary, just how long we've been having to do things this way. It is bizarre. And I had an idea last May. I had an idea this was going to be a long run for us because I was in a grocery store. I'm standing in line. And this guy's behind me, but he's not doing the 6 feet, so I didn't want to say anything. I just kind of glanced, just kind of do the body language thing. And all of a sudden I hear this. He goes, so you think that mask is helping? And I turn around, I said, excuse me? He goes, you think that mask is helping? And I said, well, you're not looking at my boobs, so yes. I'm happy to be here. I like Jason told you, I'm up in Seattle. I'm not originally from here. Born and raised in Hawaii. I am Hawaiian, or as they pronounce it in Arizona, suspicious. I had a guy come up to me after a show one time. He goes, are you full Hawaiian? I said, no, I'm part Chinese. He interrupts me right there. He goes, wait. You don't look Chinese. You're right. You caught me pretending to be Chinese. I hate being Swedish, so I live this damn lie. You're on to me. So I proved I was Chinese. I kept my feelings to myself and the place he worked at. I love your Hawaiian pizzas. Because we Hawaiians are so famous for our Canadian bacon. Remember climbing up the bacon trees, knocking them off the bacon branches. Here's the thing, you really want a Hawaiian pizza, you know what you do? You put Spam on that bad boy.
Yeah.
I see the nods. Yes. I've been there. Hawaiians love Spam.
Yes.
I didn't realize till I moved away that nobody else does. We love Spam and regular, not light. Which they have. They have Spam light because if you're health conscious, you're probably shopping for Spam. Is that really a market? Is this gluten free? I need to know. And what it says in the can is low salt. You know what? Spam without salt is clay. Nice group. It's odd doing these kind of shows because in a comedy club you can see the first couple of rows, but you can't see everybody else. So if people leave, you don't really know. In these shows, you totally see the participants right there, and you know who's leaving. So you're a good group. As Jason told you, my name is Kermet Apio. Apio is a Hawaiian name. Kermit is not. I had someone ask me, Kermit, is that your stage name? Yes, I chose that one.
Yeah.
Yep. Real name. Grew up with it. My mom is trying to be nice. Kermit is a Celtic word meaning great warrior. Also an American word meaning frog. I hated the first day of school so much, right? Yes, thank you for the pity. You're right. The first day of school was awful. They're taking attendance. Kermet Apio Every kid with a weird name going, yes. Not gonna be me. Frog Boy's gonna get it all year long. Come home, my mom would ask me, "How was your first day?" "My name is Kermit, Mom." Yes. Oh, and thanks for the green bell bottoms. They're helping. By the way, for those of you under 40, the bell bottoms are pants, and they kind of went out like this at the ankles.
Come on back.
There's a lot of age-specific humor in this show, people. I'm in my late 40s. I am 53. I like saying late 40s. You know, it sounds like there's still hopes and dreams. You know. I thought it'd be a bigger deal turning 50. You know, you're getting a new zero. It was big at 40. It was big at 30. You know what? It's not at 50. God, you don't wake up on your 50th birthday. Oh, yay. Oh, this bump is new. Awesome. I look like a climbing wall. Yay, life. Happy to get to you happen to get to another birthday, but all it means is you've been on the planet a long time. I was thinking about this. I was in school so long ago. I remember making ashtrays in art class. Remember that, folks? Yeah. I made ashtrays where? In school. You had to use your 9-year-old finger to make a cigarette wedge. Remember that? I'm going to put glitter on it. We made addiction cute. That was our assignment. All right, kids, get your welder's mask. We're making shot glasses for mommy. Let's do this. And finish your macaroni bongs. Get them done. Let's go. Almost Christmas time in the 70s, and that's how we roll. Anytime someone says 50 is old, you know what I do? I'll tell you exactly what I do. Here it is. I take my Walkman out of my members only jacket and I don't listen to them. Once again, for those of you under 40, the Walkman was a musical listening device. Like an iPod, only steam powered, really. People try and be positive. People say things like, well, you know, 50 is the new 40.
Oh, God.
Apparently that's if you work out. Yes, 240 is not the new 180, you know. Although 9:30 is the new midnight. I know that much. That joke did really well. I'm happy to hear that. The target market. One of the shows started at 7. This makes sense. Sure, I'll watch comedy if it can be done by 9. But you know what? That's what I loved about the 40s, that you can laugh at a joke like that in public and not care at all. 40s when you make an amazing transition. You accept your life. You're okay with who you are. You know, you don't worry about it. You don't run from it. There's no embarrassment. And you know what? You know what, public? I'm tired. Deal with this. Oh, yeah. Dress socks and cargo shorts. Boom. So what? Yeah, I'm wearing a visor. Hats are too much for me nowadays. It's all that drama. I love the 40s. You make that transition, you accept your life, and life gets easier. And here's something I learned. If you're not ready to make that transition, your body will make it for you. I hurt my back a couple years ago. Nothing major. I just tweaked my back. But you know how I tweak my back? Here it is. Get ready.
Yeah.
Sleeping. That's what I did wrong. At this point, lying down is an extreme sport. I'm not kidding. Going from here to, I don't know, about there. That's it. Right there. That's where my body goes, whoa, slow it down, LeBron. I am one good sneeze from my spleen exploding. That is my life. Here's one. Embarrassing, but I will tell it to you anyway. I hurt my knee. Get ready. Washing dishes. Yeah. That's it. That's all I didn't fall on my knee. I didn't hit my knee. Nothing. I was washing dishes and went from perfectly fine to ow. That's how it ends. But here's the one that broke me. Here's the one that took me down. Here's the transition. I was getting in the car, right? All of a sudden, I noticed this hand grab this leg and bring it in the car. That's a real thing in my world, folks. The leg that used to propel me to dunk at basketball is now a carry-on. I say it again, I noticed it. I didn't start doing it. It's been happening for a while without my knowledge. It's like the body went, you know what? The leg needs help. Just get it done. Don't tell the brain. Keep it on the down low. Tell the brain it's Dave Matthews playlist and box wine. Nobody wants that tonight. It's been a pleasure. Thanks for having me on the show. Enjoy the rest of the show. Appreciate it, Jason. Thank you.
All right. Kermet Apio, everybody. Nicely done, man. Nicely done. He's smooth, like a really good wine or something. You're like jazz, Kermit. You just it goes down easy. Nick Campbell just said, "Awesome set!" Exclamation point. Hey, while we do this, I'm going to put this chip jar up because I've forgotten each time. But if you are inclined to tip the comics, we love when you do that. And the other comments that I caught there, Kermit, were Amanda said spam is a superfood. She's on board with spam. Christine Elowitz said, love this guy. Kermit is so funny. And Robert Pratt also said, so true, so funny. Al Guilano said, you don't look Chinese. So. All right. Well, thanks for doing it, Kermit.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
All right, man. Okay. So you guys have been fantastic. We appreciate the energy that you bring to these comics. And we have one more super funny comedian. I just worked with her recently on a corporate gig. She killed it. She's been on Showtime at the Apollo, Sex and the City, Laughs on Fox, The Keenan Ivory Weigh-In Show. Put your hands together for Maija DiGiorgio.
Hey. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, perfect. How you guys doing? I love all
One
hilarious. Everybody's good? Okay.
Hold on, Maija.
No, I have to hold on?
We're getting feedback, Maija. I'm going to grab it real quick.
Okay.
I'll do it in real time. You just do your thing. Sorry.
Okay. And can you guys hear me? You guys are okay with me?
Yeah.
Cool. I'm feeling Kermit right now because Kermit, I have a problem that is very similar. Like, I'm not Chinese, but I have it even worse than you. So I didn't want to hear Kermit complain about people being upset about him being Chinese. I'm black. So, and I'm not like black, like I took a test and I'm like 1, 12, 2,000, 50,000 grandmothers ago, that there was somebody randomly in Africa that came by way of Ireland, because that kills me. I get people all the time like, well, yeah. I'm like, no. You don't have black folks in your house. And my father is Sicilian, so he's Italian. And that is the worst combination to grow up with. I mean, like, I love when people love mixed, oh, they're so cute, the mixed kids. And isn't this amazing? The world's progressing. And I completely am against it. If you have to choose your background if you're going to marry outside of your race. And my parents did not think about it. Like the Italian man is always the strong arm, right? Strong arm always has the last word. but not when you're married to a sister. When his strong arm is broken in 6 places. I'm not afraid of you. It was literally a war. Like, I mean, people watch this. It was Sicilian man, black woman. That's like Alien versus Predator. Like, my grandparents were horribly racist. Now, so this is also the thing too. So looking like I do, I get accused now of now because I go to Rachel Dolez. I'm like, are you sure you're not lying about being black? You know, like I need this much trouble. I actually had someone who said, you're not really black, you're lying about it. You need to produce some family members. Because they wanted me to produce family members because they're saying you're just after that black money. You just want the easy black money. I was like, come on. I look Jewish. I mean, like literally. And also too, I also come from very snooty, bourgeois, light-skinned black people. Like all the black people in my family are Sinbad yellow. And they're also racist. So they're racist about other black people who are not as Sinbad yellow as them. In fact, my black grandfather, when he met my Sicilian father, he looked at my mother and said, are you sure you want to marry this Italian? He's awfully dark. You know how many generations it took for us to get this light to still be black? Yeah, it's a complete war in the house. It's a complete war. Like this, I come from Goomba Sicilians, like real like Goomba Sicilians and snooty black folks. So when I did shows like Def Comedy Jam, trying to prove I'm down, I'm down enough to be on Def Jam and stuff, the Italians were kind of okay with it. They were like, hey, she's going to be on TV over here. The black side of my family was appalled. They're like, oh no, not that ghastly hip-hop show. If only we sent it to Howard University, this would have never have happened. In fact, I had to hide my mother's family from my comedy act because my black side is so bourgeois that I can't explain this. I'm not like, I'm saying, well, what, you heard? Like, I had to work. I had white friends that had to teach me how to act black. Black people in my family were so over the top. It was no, for real. Like, I had to, years later, doing comedy, I learned to settle in with the truth. I actually had to Google my mother to be able to describe her in my act. And I found her in an article in Jet magazine from 1955, where they described my mother as a Negro songstress who performs in opera houses all over the world, got the key to the city of Paris at the age of 18, sang in 7 languages and a concert-level pianist that soloed with the Cleveland Symphony at 12, which is why I'm a comedian. So, people say you're supposed to pass your parents. The best I could say is I've been on BET. And and it was hard because most mothers didn't have the standard. They were loved. It was easier. They could say they wanted you to have a hearty breakfast. They demanded having clean underwear. No, my mother believed in having a musical number prepared in case of an emergency. And somehow everywhere we went, there was an emergency. We couldn't even put on. We couldn't like it was. This is how bad it was. Because when we lived in Manhattan, we were fine. But we moved to New Jersey, to like this redneck neighborhood where these people never even visited New York, and my parents didn't check the neighborhood. And back then there were no mixed race kids. There wasn't. It was like illegal when they got married in 17 states. And it wasn't even like Mexican illegal because there was no place to ship you back to. So, they move us to this redneck New Jersey. We pull up, the rednecks actually surrounded the car. And my mother, she was such a Jedi. She said, don't get out. I'll handle this. She shimmied over to the hillbillies in her ostrich feathers, turban, and mink coat. looked him straight in the eye and said, "We're not the Negroids you're looking for. Move along." And they moved along. But me and my sister didn't have those powers. We didn't know how to handle stuff. You know, we were kids. We didn't fit in. There was no Latinos. There were no Asian kids. There were no black kids. There were definitely no mixed kids. And my sister was very, very mocha in the sun. And I had a blonde afro that unleashed in the rain. which meant only I could play in the sun and my sister could play in the rain. Walking home from school, I'd clutch my barometer tightly, you know, I was terrified. And I used to get my ass whooped every day. The white boys would chase me in the schoolyard. They'd beat me up. They'd throw rocks. I'd come home with a black eye. And my mother used to tell me, "You go back to school and you tell those hooligans when they ask you what you are. You tell them that you're Italian and that you're French Creole. And if you don't know what Creole is, you tell them to look it up."
Oh.
It said to be prepared with green peppers, onions, tomatoes. And when you don't fit in, it's the last thing that you want. Because I had parents that worked to stand out. My father was a Sicilian mambo dancer, and my mother couldn't walk into a Chinese restaurant in Bayonne, New Jersey. If the place had a piano, there'd be 15 Chinese people pouring out of the kitchen, "Sylvia, sing song." And she couldn't just sing happy birthday and leave. It would be a whole story of how we ended up in the Chinese restaurants. And it would always start with, "Click, click, 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 click. This is very impromptu." Like, no, it's not. You've been practicing for weeks. And his stories were always over. There's a funny little, no, he would always be like, "The world looks to Szechuan dumpling, like the French would say, la vie, la vie en rose with rose-colored glasses. When you dip your dumplings into the sauce, it makes a sound like a top, be a top, be a top." Like, weren't we here ordering takeout? How did you come to this? It was so embarrassing. And if that wasn't bad enough that she had to have a musical number prepared in case of an emergency, she expected the same from her kids, me and my sister. So in addition to voice classes, dance classes, acting classes, violin classes, she felt it necessary to turn every event occurring in the house into a musical number as well, which means we couldn't even put on a pair of shoes without it turning into Hello Dolly. Put on your Sunday shoes when you feel down and out. Now, I'm just, you know, some parents sung the kids to sleep. My mother would sing us to sleep and awake every morning. At 6 a.m., we'd be greeted bedside with a brand new production number. "Good morning, Glory. Hey there, stop that yawning. A brand new day is dawning. Pull up the shade, let the sun come through." I used to dream of roosters. They were quieter and less dramatic, you know? I'm sick. I could fall down and scrape my knee. It would be, "We're gonna rouge our knees and boys and all that jazz." She couldn't just do the verse too. She'd have to do the whole damn song. "Start the car, no whoopee spice. Well, the kid is cold and our piano." Mom, I'm bleeding. Carrying me off in an ambulance. I mean, you know, me and my sister, we really wanted to fit in. We didn't want to do all this. We tried to escape, but we couldn't. Everyone in the family played an instrument, and my uncle was a Tony Award-winning tap choreographer, which meant whenever she chose to break out in the song, she had backup. Literally, I would escape. My childhood was hell. You know what I said? I had finally a Korean family moved into the neighborhood. My friend Mia and her sister Miran. And they used to invite me for dinner, and I couldn't wait to have a quiet, normal dinner, you know? but I'd have to call home. And, you know, you don't want to be on the phone too long. Mom, I can't hear you because of the train. I'm having dinner at Mia's. I said, I can't hear you because of the clang, 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 went the trolley. Went the bell. Stop, stop, when my heartstrings.
Oh my God.
Don't get too excited. She just called back because she was still a black mother. Hello. Did you just hang up on me? Don't make me come over there and snatch you bald-headed. I'm gonna knock you in the next Tuesday. I'm gonna beat the black off of you. Which is seriously, I was obviously beaten a lot, and I'm serious because I always had a mouth. You know, I always said the wrong thing. Like I remember the time I remember the ass whooping I got for saying, you know, does it always have to be a production number, Mom? Does it always have to be a number? She was like, how dare you? We're performing. Bald-headed again. I got my butt whooped constantly. People, the only time I didn't get my butt whooped is if the phone would ring and she'd have to answer like a diva, you know, because she couldn't get, I'm going to knock you in. You better get your hello. Jean-Claude, can we get back to finishing ass whooping? It's almost my bedtime. Everything had to turn French, and you know, I mean, don't get me wrong. I had a great mother. She was always there. But she was always there. Like you didn't even have to turn around. You could hear her enter the room. She made an entrance. Like it's funny because white mothers, I had a white stepmother because that marriage didn't work. White mothers enter a room totally different from black mothers. A white mother will enter the room like she's apologizing for being there. Like, oh, gee, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to just say sorry. Black women enter the room like they're taking it up. How am I doing on time, Jason? Am I out? 1 minute. Okay, so I'll finish. So my mother, like, yeah, I didn't even have to turn around. I could hear her enter the room because she wore all this exotic jewelry given to her by a Wonder Woman, you know, like a Wonder Woman mixed up. Like, it was the king of Liberia who bought me these bracelets. And so she had to wear them everywhere, in the house, at Burger King. I don't care where. That's how you knew she was coming. She had like a bossa nova beat. She even made noise when she stopped. You know, and so you could tell her moods though by the bracelets. That's the only good thing. You could tell her moods because she'd walk in like, Mom's in a good mood. Mom's in a bad mood. The only thing she couldn't do was be on time. And because of the jewelry, we couldn't sneak in anywhere. An example, we went to an all-white church, right? And we were the only black family at the white church, so she was very conscious about giving off the stereotype of being late. But we were always late. So she'd wait for the hymn. You know, she's going to sneak in minute. You can sneak into a black church. You can land a plane in a black church. No one will know. You can't sneak into a white church. White folks sing like kitty cats. Meow, meow. Meow, meow, meow. Thanks, guys. That's my time.
All right. Maija DiGiorgio, everybody. Maija DiGiorgio. Fantastic. Great. You got a lot of great comments, Maija. Kathy Wilson, by the way, saw you perform with Sinbad in the before times, before everyone was a bank robber or a surgeon. And Eileen Roseman loves your energy and your expressions. My right-hand man, Tony, said so much energy. And Ann Romero said you're talented. Look at all the comments. Martha Gill said you have a great voice. Appreciate you doing it. And can we have one more round of applause for everybody?
Yeah.
You sing?